Member as Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me also thank the CS for that answer to that question. Honorable Speaker, you know, the question of public universities is very dear to many members of Parliament because these universities and university colleges traverse almost all our counties and constituencies. And CS, you might be aware that it is indeed true there are cartels that have been running even certain departments within the Ministry of Education, particularly the university placement services, COOPs, and university funding. And CS, you will note, you just told us that in the next financial year you will not be funding any new students, but looking at the estimates that were tabled before this House, whereas in the answer that you have given, a total of 3.174 billion was allocated last year and distributed to universities, private universities. In this year's estimates, 4.174 billion has been set aside for the same funding. I'm just trying to reconcile those figures. If then you're not funding new students, why is the money increasing? The money should be decreasing, and decreasing significantly, because you are funding continuing students, and continuing means students who are in first year, second and third year, because even those who are in fourth year in the last financial year most likely are exiting. Therefore, this budget should be going down by almost a half, not be increased by 1 billion shillings CS. Two, CS, I want to ask you, if you look at your own list, what you have submitted, and I don't want to mention particular universities, but you can tell who are the drivers of these cartels. And you will see the universities that have gotten the largest amount, some 700 plus million shillings, others 350 plus. They commensurate with the proliferation of their colleges around the country to the detriment of public universities. And you will see instances where public universities and public university colleges have been closed and their premises taken over by private universities. CS, we must be honest with each other, that the cartels that took over the ministry, especially the university funding departments and agencies in your ministry, you must tell us now as a house that now that you came from this house to the executive, you must be ruthless in dealing with these cartels. Because it is true, they have not only misled our children to go to private universities to get half-baked education, but they have also enticed innocent students, as Honorable Wambuka says, from villages who do not know what it will take when they get into those universities, and many of them drop out. But even as they drop out, the money that is allocated to those students continues to be taken to those universities, yet the students dropped out of school. CS, I want to ask you probably at a later date, you must tell this house whether your ministry has instigated or instituted any forensic audits to establish the actual number of students attending classes in those private universities. Because I can tell you, CS, and I speak from my own experience in my own constituency, I have had many students seeking to transfer to public universities. Some succeed, others have moved to KMTCs because they are enticed that you can now go and study in this private university nursing. CS, as you are telling us, that they are going to these private universities because they offer nursing and we don't have capacity in our public universities. Why don't we enhance the capacity of our public universities to offer nursing? Instead of sending our students to these private universities, they go drop out after the first year, they join our KMTCs and other tertiary level colleges, but government continues to pump money into businesses and cartels that took over. And I am not ashamed, CS, to say they took over groups, they took over the university funding board, and I want you, CS, to just mean business, CS. Let me tell you, CS, just mean business. Conduct a forensic audit. Establish even within the ministry, who are these rings or cartels that ring around those ministries and manipulate systems to favor private business? And I have nothing against private business. Indeed, some of the most successful universities around the world are private universities. But they do that, and they even contribute to the national growth of the economies by even offering scholarships. How many of these private universities have you seen giving Kenyan students scholarships? None. And they are killing our public universities. Yes, I want to beseech you, please, besides establishing and crushing the cartels in COPs, in the University Funding Board, CS, as you also institute and forensic audit to establish the actual number of students, because you should be paying to individuals who are attending classes in those private universities, not just numbers. What you pay for are numbers, not students who are attending classes on the CS. Please, I also want to beg you, CS, in closing, help our public universities to regain their lost glory, like the University of Nairobi. It is embarrassing that there are private universities now that are running the University of Nairobi out of town. True, these same cartels today are celebrating. They are celebrating that the cost of university education in public universities will always be higher than in their private universities. Why? Because of the cost of overheads in public universities. CS, you have a challenge together with your peers in charge of higher education to re-engineer how public universities are also managed, to ensure that they are efficiently managed, governance is proper. Those that have idle assets like land, that you can utilize that land to generate more income and make the cost of public universities much